listening to Frank Skinner's podcast from Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Alan Cochrane and...
Well, she's all you'd ever want. She's the kind I'd like to flaunt and take to dinner.
Emily has returned.
I'm back.
That's tremendous news. I've got to have something for Emily has returned. Hold on. That seems right. You can text the show on 81215, follow the show on Twitter at Frank on the Radio, or email the show via the Absolute Radio website.
Frank, did you tell people I was in prison when I was off? Because I've had a couple of inquiries.
No,
as to my well-being.
I never suggested that, did I?
I don't know. I think you might have.
No,
I mean, it sounds like the sort of thing
I think you said.
No.
I think you just said that she's in prison.
One of those elegant lies.
I don't think I really referred to you being away because because you're out the country. I always think I'm sort of.
You worry about burglars.
I don't want to be on burglar alert.
I know.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Yeah,
it's like football teams that are playing away, literally playing away.
We can now say, can't we, that you were off on the road to Morocco.
I was.
Lovely.
I've never been to Morocco.
No, me neither.
They can't pin that on me. That's another thing that's kept me out of prison. Yeah, I went with Joe Orton, I think, in 61, if I remember right. No, I didn't.
Okay, well, I've got some anecdotes, but we'll get to those later.
Oh, well, you could have bought me a replacement fringe for the fairs. You know, the little fairs that...
Wow.
Or a fez, even.
That Daisy
got another
uses.
little
Well,
fez.
it's funny you should say that, but we'll get to that presently.
Did you go to Fez's R Us?
No.
I think wouldn't it be called Fez Fest?
Oh, nice.
Although I did find myself saying at one point, one of my holiday companions was TV's Jonathan Ross.
Oh, yeah.
And I did find myself saying at one point, I've got to go to the souk because I need to get Frank's, the tassels missing on Frank's little fez. Which was, I won't tell you what he said in reply.
New readers, we should say that we're overdoing it and talking too much, because we did accidentally win Best Speech Programme once. It's true. Because that's when you know your links are getting out of hand. The director, Daisy, puts a small fez, not a fez. I suppose what would it fit? It wouldn't fit any human being. Maybe a baby, even. It would fit a marmoset monkey.
Well, can I tell you what it would fit? Because when Jonathan was asking for it, he was saying, vous avez une fez? And then he said, pour un petit chat. I said, you've asked for a cat's fez.
Small cat fez.
He said, yeah, well, it is for a cat. It's that size.
That actually is about right.
He says fez pour un petit chat. That's the
Great
fez size.
bit of ordering, a small cat fez.
Yeah.
You couldn't get me a small cat fez, could you? Do you want ice with that? No, I think you misunderstand. Oh, lovely. Well, we'll have more of Morocco lately, but obviously Emily's wearing quite a lot of white today, as people do when they come back off their holidays.
I really have gone for it, haven't I?
Although it's a phenomenon that's dipped in that you can go and get a tan down the high street now.
True.
Was a time. The phrase "Have you been away?" has more or less disappeared from British parlance. Have we heard from the outside world?
We have. I bring to your attention an email entitled Greyhound Couchant.
Oh, yes.
Hi, Frank and Co. A few weeks ago...
I think it's couchant.
Is it couchant?
My apologies. I don't think you hit that last...
I have no French.
Consonant.
I have no French. My apologies. A few weeks ago, Frank told a story about a heraldry-based joke that hadn't gone down as well as he'd hoped.
What, on breakfast television on commercial radio? That can't be true.
Well, this is the thing that I like, is that you often bear the innards of jokes that have not worked.
No, but to be fair, I was at a pub called the Greyhound, and I just pointed out that on the sign outside that it was couchant rather than rampant, which was that'd be a rampant. So in heraldic terms, it means it was lying down rather than raised.
Yeah.
I was just making a simple point. I think in the audience would love the use of heraldic terms about a pub sign. They didn't.
Well, great news. Oh, sorry.
I was going to say couchant. That's what I call the Jeremy Kyle, isn't it?
Yes.
That's how he tends to.
Yeah, when he does that thing when he lies on the studio floor.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't like the sound of this. Oh,
no, go on, carry on.
I can finish this email.
Yes.
Frank told a story about a heraldry-based joke that hadn't gone down as well as he'd hoped when playing the Greyhound pub in Sydenham many years ago. As one of your Sydenham readers, that means a listener to the show for new readers, I wanted to let you know that since hearing said joke on the show, it has made me chuckle every time I have passed the Greyhound pub. I wonder if Frank has any other Sydenham-based material he'd like to share to keep us going between podcasts. For example, anything about W.G. Grace or Ernest Shackleton, who both lived in the area.
Oh, did W.G. Grace live there?
Or ideally, a witty anecdote about the closure of the Croydon Canal in 1836, the first canal to be closed by an Act of Parliament. Yours in hope more than expectation.
Yes. If this was Bob Moncose's radio show, I would be reaching for my card index file. and he'd have like 8 of them.
Ernest Shackleton jokes.
Written in different colours, yeah, for different audiences. Yes. Well, I didn't know Shackleton and Dobby. That's a pretty good combo.
Yeah.
You're covering all the seasons there.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
I had a very satisfying moment last night.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
all right. It's all right. Calm down.
Okay,
Calm down.
8:14,
Trust me,
just
why don't you trust
FYI.
me?
It's been enjoyable
Speak for yourself.
being on the radio.
I'd spent, I think we worked it out, 35 hours trying to remember the name Bishop Stortford.
Oh, nice.
And Kath said, no, I'm just going to Google it. And I said, you dare Google it. It was on a train together. And she got in a real strop about it. But I didn't let her tell me. And it was really on my mind. And then last night, in the middle of...
The night.
no, it was
I'm walking in my
actually... It was actually in the
sleep.
middle of the Yoda Chronicles, which is a Lego-based animation show. I suddenly thought, Bishop Stortford,
Brilliant.
of course. Oh, it was great. Absolutely great. It's like a Pools win.
Got to be careful shouting that out in the night, though.
No,
It might sound like you once dated him.
I was in the privacy of my own home.
Bishop, very good.
Oh, Bishop Stortford.
That was a night.
Morning to everyone in Bishop Stortford today. I couldn't think. What else did they say? DJs.
Here's White's name.
How's it hanging?
They say that, Frank.
Don't they say that?
No.
Oh, okay. Not since they banned capital punishment.
Yeah.
That's another radio station.
Yeah, exactly. That's what capital should be called. Anyway.
We've actually got a correction in, if you're interested.
Correzione.
Yeah, I'm afraid
Right,
so.
Oh, let's get the jingle, Frank. Come on.
Correzione. It's almost as if we couldn't get the actual chant. We've just got library football crowd noises and someone singing it over the top. Anyway, correzione. What have I said? Is it someone saying that the Graham pub isn't in Sydenham?
No.
Okay.
Good morning, Frank and Alan. Welcome back, DME.
Thank you.
I'm afraid I have to correct a joke used in last week's show.
Oh, last week.
I first came across the property is theft quotes. It's in quotes, you know.
Yeah.
We were discussing that joke last week.
Yeah.
I first came across the property is theft gag some 30 years ago in a student rag mag. Then, as now, the pedant in me had to point out that the phrase all property is theft was coined by the 19th century anarchist Pierre-Joseph Proudhon. Proudhon? Proudhon. Proudhon?
Yes, I'm familiar
Proud
with
one.
him.
I think
Maybe
I've gone
proud
with it.
one, I hope, like that. Joseph Proud one.
It has nothing to do with Karl Marx or communism. Unfortunately, why does Proudhon drink herbal tea loses something in comedy value. Historically correct, though. Keep up the good work, Jez Reynolds.
Okay. So I did say it might not have been my original joke because ponds,
Oh, right.
people think of ponds. So if it's 30 years old, how could it possibly be mine? So, yeah. Yeah, okay,
No,
thanks for that.
I think he's pointing out that it was the 19th century anarchist that had done it. So that predates yours, doesn't it? Oh, right.
No, but he didn't do the joke. He said all property is theft, but he wasn't talking about
Happened to the
tea.
show arguing about Proudhon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Extraordinary.
This is exactly
It's
the
got
sort of
very
stuff.
highbrow. You hasn't been around.
Yeah, do you remember that time, the big Proudhon squabble? That's what got us the ARIA award that year. Proudhon Gate. That was fantastic. Oh, dear. I enjoyed it. I've learned something new. I'd never heard of Gustav, is it?
Pierre Joseph.
PJ.
PJ. Love PJ.
Yeah.
PJ Proudhon.
I wonder what he wore at night.
Yeah, PJ Proudhon. That's brilliant.
Do you think he wore bottoms? Just the top? Like you, Frank?
Well, he was an anarchist. Was he an anarchist? Did
Yeah.
you say?
He was, yeah.
Yeah, he probably wore one of those half suits that people do when they're doing a sketch when they play two people. So
Oh,
he
yeah.
wore one pyjama leg and one pyjama sleeve and half jacket. Probably just wore the one with the breast pocket for the handkerchief.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. JP Proudhon there on Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner.
On Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
So I was in Zurich this week.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, have you been to Zurich?
I haven't. I've always wanted to go. Big clock face.
What did you call me?
There is a big clock face there. That's
There
what
is.
I know about
No,
it.
there is. I saw the big clock face.
Yeah.
It didn't look that big, I'll be straight.
Did it
with you.
not?
Yeah. It's a big
No.
clock
I think
face.
I've seen bigger floral. You get the big floral clocks at the seaside.
Oh, yeah.
You aware of that?
Personal. I wasn't, but you know what? I always think when I think of Zurich, I think clock face, and I think is that Dadaism as well.
Oh yes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Cabaret Voltaire is there, which is where the Dada movement kicked off in 1916. Anyway,
Good info.
it was lovely, quiet, clean, quiet. I think not that many tourists. I think a lot of people choose their destinations alphabetically.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you go to Zurich, Zanzibar, you often
Yeah.
got a bit of extra elbow room.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
I mean, most people
Zimbabwe.
most people don't get as far as Lanzarote, do they? And then they
No, exactly.
just stop travelling.
no, I was working. I wasn't there for an assisted suicide. I don't want you
Right.
thinking
Yeah.
that.
That went wrong.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
back.
Turn out they were double booked. All a bit embarrassing.
They did that dude that was in the news this week. There was a dude, wasn't there? 104.
Yeah, he was in town. He was in town
was
when
he?
I was there. Yeah,
It's not the Foo Fighters.
yeah.
Goodness.
No, he
sake.
was. I was hoping to
In
bump into him.
town.
Well, that would have been
You know,
good.
it's all right, mate. Give us your
Okay.
watch. Give us that watch.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, everyone.
Anyway,
Meanwhile, over at the clock face,
yeah. So, apparently, I didn't. I'd heard this, but I wasn't really aware of it. They've got quite a lot of Nazi gold
Yeah.
in,
oh, that's nice.
which is Absolute's new station. It's at the absolute best of Nazism. Here on Nazi Gold. If it was, I'd say if there was a TV channel called Nazi Gold, middle-aged men, man, they would be tuning in their droves.
Yeah.
I've met that weird phenomenon that men over 45 only want to watch documentaries about World War II generally, and the Nazis in particular. What is that about? 8, 12, 15.
There's going to be some interesting texts arriving soon.
This is very true, though.
Yeah.
I think it was a second date with someone who suggested we watch Nazis: A Warning from History many years ago.
Yeah, that's
Excellent.
what was he getting at? Yeah. And do you mind wearing these boots while we're watching it? I mean, come on. I wouldn't trust anyone who said that to me.
Would you not?
No.
Okay.
I know someone who they on their first date they watched Friends,
Oh, nice.
Oh, really?
and
Not nice.
he'd never heard of it.
No way.
He said, "What is up? Where long's this been going?" It's like series 5. What's it called? Friends.
Never
You're
heard of
right,
it.
Yeah.
He'd been in a coma.
That was.
You've just reminded me of something. I was on a bus the other day and I was looking at...
See, that anecdote would be
Somebody was on their phone and they Googled Donald Trump.
They Googled Donald. Wow.
Donald
wait.
Trump. Like, I keep hearing about this guy.
Wow.
Not Donald Trump plus something. Just who
Donald
is
Trump.
the man?
Just Donald Trump. No other words. Because I was looking, thinking, oh, what is it about? Because Donald Trump's done a lot and said a lot of things over the...
But it was just that.
Just Donald Trump.
It's the brilliant thing about Google. They were just probably trying to remember his name when they gave him.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
617 has texted us, Frank, I'm only a youngster at 33 and a half, and I love a good Nazi documentary.
Okay, well, I'm not saying that they only are for middle-aged men, but get in early. That's the secret with those.
Also,
Yeah.
545 has said, Frank, I think the channel, you were describing a channel called Nazi Gold, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
exactly.
I think the channel already exists, but it's called Yesterday.
Oh, yes, I've seen that one.
Yeah. It's just documentaries about Nazis.
Yesterday. They also have that as their jingle. Just a one little bit of Brian Ferry. Yesterday. You can say hello and welcome to Yesterday. There was a Life FM. Does that still exist?
Live.
Sarah? Well, they actually, I think they only
didn't.
called it that because they'd say, we are on Life FM. Life. Ooh, life.
Did they do that?
And they did that.
Oh, good.
They didn't sing it, they played the track. I'd have just sang it. I'd have made every DJ do that. Life.
That would be good.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Where have you been, my blue turn? Where have you been, my darling?
you're right, sweetheart.
Sorry, I like a bit of. I like a bit of.
Can you get the meds, Dave?
I love a bit of Brian Ferry.
Yeah.
Me God.
Which bit is that?
Oh, he's doing it again.
That's,
I know.
yeah, okay. So, don't start me on the ferry. If that's a real thing with me, I can't
Don't
leave
pay the
it.
ferryman.
We've got some.
I can't leave it alone.
We've got some controversy, guys. Dear Alan, Frank, and Ems,
The producer's lost it.
Yeah.
I'm a 48-year-old man. I'm going to assume that means.
No, what fancies waist size?
Maybe, I don't think so. I'm a 48 man and not the least bit interested in World War II documentaries or Nazis.
Right, calm down, dear.
Give me Gardener's World anytime.
Oh, well, there you go. I'm not saying everyone.
Oh, I think you might have at the start of this.
I didn't say every. Did I say every? I'm sorry if I did.
Alan,
No,
he
Gardener's
never
World.
generalises.
No, a Gardener's World's about as far away from a Nazi documentary as you could get, I guess. It'd be hard. It'd be hard to build that scale.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, I don't know. We got on to the whole terrible subject.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is this going to be a new, quite a regular
No,
thing
I
in your
don't
life?
think so.
The Brian Ferry?
It's been a regular thing in my life for
has
about
it?
20 years, but I've kept it off air.
Brian Ferry thing.
I don't know how did Brian Ferry even come into
Yesterday.
Yes. Let's see. I always knew, I think, somewhere deep down that one day it would leak out on air. But I will do this on my own at home. I will do Brian Ferry for 4 minutes at a time, just
That's
on my
good.
own. Yeah. It's very Moorish. That's what it is.
Skinner, Dean, and Cochrane. Together, The Frank Skinner Show.
Absolute Radio.
Oh, I tell you what, I had a fondue.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
I haven't had one of them for years.
I've just had my first this week.
congratulations.
Shut up.
What are the chances?
That is, I'm not even lying. Really?
Yeah.
I've had my first one since the 80s, I think.
Really?
They were quite big in the 80s in the West Midlands.
The fondue?
Everyone got a fondue set.
Well, I had one once in Juan Le Pen, and I didn't like it. That's in France.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't like it because the little stick, I burnt my lip with it. I think it's too dangerous.
I don't think the stick is meant to really touch mouth, is it? I thought that the stick
No, I
was
think
for
I made
bread.
an error.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
I put it straight in. How did you get
I
on?
put it straight in as well.
How'd you get on then?
It was great. I mean,
Yeah.
isn't fundamentally don't.
Fondue mentally?
Yeah, fundamentally. I love it. I'm a very big fandue of it.
Oh, no.
He's off.
When we want something to eat, don't we really basically want a bowl of melted cheese? Isn't that like the ultimate? I
Yeah.
mean, just it's dripping off the bread. I stuck gherkins in it.
Did you? Nice.
Oh, pickled onion. I stuck a
That's
pickled
nice,
onion
that's nice
in
for
it.
everyone
Did
else.
you?
Yeah.
Really
Well, I mean, it's on the
courteous.
fork. It was great, though. I thought, why don't I just eat fondue all the time?
There's several good reasons to not do that. But,
then I remembered the national obesity crisis.
yeah.
Also, the
not
assembly.
fondue caused that, I don't believe.
The assembly required for the fondue, the washing up.
There is a bit of kit involved, isn't there?
I'm getting bumps and burners. It's like a chemistry experiment. I haven't got the time.
Well, I seem to remember in the 80s when they got big. I remember people bought woks as well. Everybody got woks in where I we were so...
I've still got a wok. What's wrong with a wok? Woks are great.
I'm not saying there's anything
lovely.
wrong with them. Calm down, you're making a fool of yourself.
You get very defensive about woks, it turns out. I never knew that about myself.
Yeah, wow.
Until right now.
God. I'm
Worst
afraid Frank
argument.
pressed the wok button.
Yeah. I've always wondered what makes Alan angry. Woks.
Yeah. He's a wok defender. Big time. So, no, but I remember with the fondues, people, they weren't... You'd think melted cheese is like a big enough indulgence for anybody. And then people started having chocolate fondues.
Oh.
Where they just melted chocolate. And
I don't like that.
I'm not for that.
That's too much, isn't it?
Oh, it's a bit... I don't
But
like
then
it.
again, if you've got the stuff out and it's time for pudding, you may as well just give it a wipe with
You want to have two of
with
them
a
going at the
kitchen roll.
same time, like plate spinning. But the heat, though, the intense heat at the dining table. Why, you had to eat in a welding mask.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Frank, I don't want to wrench us out of Zurich again. I'm having such a lovely time with you there. But we've had...
The air's much cleaner
Is
than it is
it?
in London. Oh, different world. Carry on.
Same world, different country.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, my geography's...
It's a bit pedant.
At least you didn't bring up woks.
yeah, don't get me started.
Alan finds woks very triggering.
Yeah.
136 has texted in. Dear Frank et al. And M, my wife and I always say the word avocado in a Brian Ferry voice. That's Neil from Battersea. Do you want to give that a try, Frank?
Avocado. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And 806 has texted, Hi Frank, my wife and I were married in 1987 and received no less than 6 fondue sets.
Wow.
Result.
To this day, we have never had a fondue.
They could do a multi-fondue, like a Rick Wakeman gig, like with them on different tables around them, with them turning around, taking out bits of bread, pickled onion, maybe a live canary. Oh, no, sorry, everyone.
You say that, but they couldn't.
I think you'll find that comes under the banner of very cruel.
Yeah, I think you're right.
They couldn't. They say they've never had fondue. To this day, we've never had a fondue and can't be bothered with the hassle for a lump of melted cheese on an olive. We ended up giving them back as wedding presents, and in fact gave one back to the person who gave us ours, and they never knew until we owned up 25 years later.
It's quite
So
tight.
never used one of them. Can you believe that?
Yes, of course I can. I suspect there are people all over the country with dusty fondue sets.
Well, send me one. Because I'm gagging for
Next
it now.
week we're going to have loads of fondue sets here.
I tell you, it's...
It's going to be like Tom Daly's Master Pan all over again.
It
do you
is.
remember the steamboat? Do you remember that one?
No.
No, we're not that old, dear.
More late. I'm not talking about how I arrived here.
Frank
Skinner.
on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Alan Cochrane. You can text the show on 81215, follow the show on Twitter at Frank on the Radio, or email the show via the Absolute Radio website. A steamboat, do you not remember this? It was like a sort of a basket full of boiling soup. And it's had the heat underneath.
Really?
It had a heat underneath it, like the fondue, the Bunsen burner thing. And you used to cook stuff in it. So you'd put it in a little metal scoop, like maybe a bit of chicken, and you'd leave it sitting, dangling into the hot soup, and you'd boil it.
This so
Don't remember
sounds
this?
like Call My Bluff and You're the Bluffer.
Okay.
I don't know what
A
this is.
steamboat?
Frank Muir.
I mean, you lost me at a basket of soup, but that doesn't sound like it would hold
Well,
soup.
it's very tightly woven.
This really is a lie.
No, it is a lie.
Is
The
it? Okay.
steamboat. It's an Oriental thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like
Can you still
tempura.
say Oriental? Can
I think
you check
so,
that?
yeah.
You can say that? You sure? I'm not
yes.
sure you can.
It's a little bit Madonna borderline. 592.
I think it's pretty sure it's
so
fine.
difficult. So difficult.
Pretty sure it's fine, everyone.
Okay.
It's totally fine.
Anyway, let's move on in case it isn't.
592 has said, I have a fondue once a year on Eurovision night.
Oh,
Which is
of
tonight.
course.
Cheese on the cheesiest night of the year.
Brilliant.
Not tried it with a gherkin, though.
Oh, I wish I'd got one now because it'd be
I
a
know.
great thing. Although Kath wouldn't eat
No?
melted cheese in a million years.
Oh.
No.
Well, what about the bread?
She wouldn't eat the bread.
Yes.
Well, that rules out that dish then.
It's gone.
The gherkin, maybe? She might fish the gherkin out.
I mean, melted cheese
Yeah.
and bread is the basics of loads of really delicious food that she's missing out on.
All delicious food.
Yeah, pizza,
Yeah.
cheese on toast,
Yeah.
fondue,
Croque monsieur.
Croque monsieur.
Croque madame.
Croque madame, you're
Croque
right.
mademoiselle. Is there a croque mademoiselle?
Text
Yeah, I
in
believe so.
your favourite melted cheese and
No,
bread
don't
dish.
do that. Don't do that.
No, don't.
We're not capital punishment.
We have we have had a good whatever happened to email
Oh.
that I will bring to your attention. It's the first, to my knowledge, that has abbreviated whatever happened to WHT.
Oh, that's
Oh, yeah, I love that.
So it goes,
when I make a note of one I think of, that's what
Yeah.
I put WHT.
oh really?
I did one.
WHT.
Only this week I thought of one.
It begins WHT quicksand in US TV program.
Oh,
come on.
Like it.
In the 80s, it was in everything from the A-Team to Airwolf to just about any cowboy program. Discuss.
Yeah, quicksand in old
Quicksand in general.
and they were. One of them would always say, "Don't struggle," because if you struggle, you go down quicker.
An urban myth about quicksand.
I don't know. That'd be a good thing to check out. Because if I was in quicksand, I would just I'd keep as still as I could, thinking that
I
was
think
right.
then you die and get swallowed up by it.
I
does
think,
it-
I think
is
it is better to stay still and find something solid. I think I saw this on Bear Grylls.
Oh, did you?
I think it is still... Not a fan of Bear Grylls?
Just the whole survival thing. I don't get it.
Oh, okay.
I just don't get it.
You'd rather
You
not
just
survive.
don't like him because he's not, he's
I would say-
anti-fondue because he's Bear Grylls.
I think I would like to survive if I was placed in a position where I had to survive. But if I went looking for surviving situations, I think there was something needy about me. But no disrespect to Bear Grylls.
Some.
Okay,
I
well,
think it sounds like some.
A little bit of disrespect.
I wonder if Bear Grylls would like a fondue.
Yeah.
Or would that go against his family tradition of the grill?
No, he's a griller.
Yeah, he's a griller.
He's very well adjusted in humankind.
Yeah, he has to be. No shots.
Did you see that handsome gorilla this week?
Handsome gorilla.
Richard the gorilla in Prague Zoo.
No?
I'm going over there.
I mean, I got all of a flush about the muscly
Absolutely
kangaroo last
stunning.
time, so...
Brother gorilla.
Oh, God. Doing all the voices
Jake
today.
Thackeray.
It's not just
Always
Brian
popular.
Ferry.
Yeah. Thackeray and Ferry. Always let me down. I didn't see the beautiful gorilla, but then maybe that's just as well. By the sounds
Absolutely
of it.
stunning.
Hey?
Floor.
I just can't quit him. I can't quit that crazy ape.
Exactly. Bit of a silver fox as well, the gorilla.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
not really a fox, but they got the silver backs. Well, they all got silver backs, or is that a distinction with them?
I don't know, I only know that one.
Very distinguished looking, the gorilla.
Yeah, lovely.
And they love a bit of Ribena.
Bit of a Dickie Davis hair. the
Yeah.
gorilla, yeah.
Dickie Davis always looked like he was painting his ceiling. It's a bit of white at the front. There's someone else in modern telly with a bit of white at the front. 8:12:15.
Yeah.
The Frank Skinner Show. Listen live every Saturday morning from 8 on Absolute Radio.
428 has pointed out that George Lamb, of course, we were talking earlier about who else, like Dickie Davis, has the silver
Has been
streak.
painting the ceiling. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, we were also off air. We were talking about the fact that Matthew Wright is leaving the Right Stuff.
Yeah.
And they seem determined to keep
The concept.
the title or something similar to it. And we were saying Ian Wright, Could we think of anyone
Well,
else?
they said, we should say, in case anyone doesn't know, they said Matthew Wright is leaving his show, but surely that would mean the show was cancelled, because that would be like Graham Norton leaving the Graham Norton show.
Well, I don't know. I think the format is rock solid. So,
Have you ever done the right stuff?
Late review.
I have done the right stuff.
Have
Yeah.
you?
Been on the telly for years, hasn't it? It's been on a long time.
Yeah.
Okay, what did you do? You remember what you talked about?
No, of
Issues of
course
the
not.
day.
No, I think I did my Brian Ferry.
Yeah.
No, I didn't. I didn't. I don't know what we talked about, but
Okay.
it wasn't too deep. It was quite a pleasant thing to do. But they're going to have someone that sounds a bit that it'll work with the something stuff.
Yeah.
Or, as Al was pointing out, another Ian. Another Wright would have to do it. So Ian Wright would have to do it.
Yeah.
There aren't that many famous. Is that
Mark Wright.
that? Do you remember the two women cooks? And one was on a motorbike.
Clarissa Dixon Wright.
Is
Yeah.
she still
I don't know.
with us?
I'm not sure.
One of them died and one of them didn't.
Yeah.
That's how I remember it.
Yeah.
Charming.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, maybe
Oh.
not her.
Oh,
Oh.
what about the man who was married to Ulrika Johnson?
Was he called right?
He was called Lance Gerard Wright because there was a dating show built around him called Meeting Mr. Wright.
Perfect.
And then, unfortunately, Ulrika, who was the host, ran off with him.
And
happens.
then it transpired
Yeah.
that he was not Mr. Right even for
No.
her.
I'm just saying he could have a resurgence.
I don't think I can't see him getting it.
No, I can't.
Can you? I mean, no disrespect.
Unless he's got a very powerful agent that's been lying dormant for a while.
Seems.
Well, who would you lot? Who else could do
Well,
it? then?
I just can't. Vicky Blight used to be on here. Could be the Blight stuff. But it's not quite right, is it?
033 has suggested Taggart without Taggart carried on, so it's
That's
possible. Yeah.
That's true. That was a drama.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it's a
I
like
don't
for
think
like
there's any
comparison.
suggestion the right stuff's going to go. Just because
No.
Matthew Wright probably thought when he got his name in the title that he
Yeah.
cracked it, but no sirree Bob, as they say. Anyway, and this is enough. I'd like to know if anyone's got any bright ideas about how they could keep the basic title and bring in a famous celebrity.
Well, we've had some good advice. The advice to survive quicksand is to get your body into a horizontal position as if swimming. This stops you sinking. That's from Steve, 839.
Yeah,
Very counterintuitive, that,
It
isn't it?
is. You're
But
right.
then what do you do?
Oh, you swim.
I think you sort of paddle
Swim, boy.
towards terra firma.
Oh, you paddle, so you can't move a bit. Very,
I suppose it
very
depends
slowly.
Depends on the constituency of the quicksand you're
I
in,
think
I
you'd have
guess.
to just clench and unclench your buttocks to the bank.
Like a motorboat or something.
Yeah. When you come out of it, you've had a lovely mud pack thing on the skin, and
you
you've got
start to see the positives.
tight bonds of steel, do they call them?
Yes, I think they
You
do.
know, it could be. How long now before we go into a beautician's and the quicksand?
Oh,
Now that I've
quite a
kicked
long
off
time,
that,
I would imagine.
it'll be the quicksand pit.
Yeah.
You wait and see, guys. You heard it here first.
Frank Skinner.
On Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
I tell you what I really wanted to talk about this morning, and I've left it a bit because we had to go to Zurich and
Is
we
it
had some lovely
Kevin?
fondue related. No,
Okay.
we had some lovely fondue related moments,
Oh, yes.
and then there was the Prudent part of the show.
Each time I see a little girl, I'll leave that one there.
No, really do leave that.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about Katy Perry and Taylor Swift
Oh, good, me too.
because there's been a bit of a John Thaw in relations
Yes.
between those two. They've been feuding, as you may be aware.
For years.
I
6
have
years.
to say, I didn't know about the feud until it. The first I heard of it was that they'd made friends.
Yeah.
I hadn't picked up on the feud.
Really?
Well, you know, I used to be
They've been
very
throwing shade
much.
all over the place.
You know, I used to be into like gangster rap and all that. And when they had feuds, you heard about it because people got killed.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a big. And this was never going to get out of hand, was it?
No.
Taylor
But you
Swift
say
and
that in
Katy
a sort of
Perry.
misty watercoloured memories way. as
No,
if
but
you
I'm just saying
miss
there's
those good old
feuds
days.
and there's feuds. That's all I'm saying.
I
Okay.
agree. Isn't the original feud, and I might have got this wrong, but isn't the
Yeah.
original feud that there's an accusation that one of them employed the other's backing dancers.
I don't know if it's the original feud. I think you'd have to look in the Old Testament.
No, I mean, between those two.
Yes,
between those
they were
two.
poached. They poached.
They
I think
poached them.
Katy Perry poached Taylor Swift's backing dance.
Yes.
I mean, I don't want to
She did.
disrespect
They fell out
any
over
backing
backing
dancers.
dancers.
I don't want to disrespect any backing dancers in the world, but how irreplaceable are they? And I mean, America's population's about 300 million, isn't it? How hard can it be to find 3 more people to dance in the background of a song?
Yeah, but the thing is,
First world
they've
problems.
got to learn the routine.
Yeah, but also
Yeah,
for these
so that's
people, it's not
20
just
minutes
backing
done.
dancers, it's hired friends, let's be honest.
Oh, is it?
There's the
There is an
problem.
element of hired friends.
Oh.
Just get a chess app on your phone. You don't even need friends.
No, but it wouldn't work for on stage as a backing.
No, I mean, get some dancers.
So
Even if
but
you don't like
couldn't
their
be
personalities.
doing Shake It Off with your iPhone propped against the thing with Night to Queen's porn
No, that's
square.
close.
No, you couldn't do that. You couldn't be doing that. It'd be all right, for a novelty
WhatsApp's
thing. It'd be
coming
all right
in.
for
True
maybe for for the first verse, it'd be funny.
True
But then you want the people to come on in the rolled up trousers.
Yeah.
I think that's important.
But
So
the
you
thing
think
is,
backing dancers are irreplaceable, and it
I
was
don't think they're irreplaceable, but I think one expects a certain loyalty from them.
really.
I mean, backing.
Okay.
The word backing suggests that they are.
Oh, yeah.
They've got your back.
Backing. Yeah, true.
well, Taylor even wrote a song about this. You may be aware, Bad Blood was about her friendship with Katy Perry.
I
Why are
thought
you sighing like an angry parent? Oh, God.
I thought it was about septicemia. I mean, what a fool! What a fool I've been.
It was about the haemophiliac king.
I didn't know that it was about the feud with. So what does it say? Things like.
Well, baby, now we got bad blood.
And this is by Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She says at one point, Band-Aids don't fix bullet holes. You say sorry just for show. Great lyric.
Okay.
It's exaggerating.
So she had said sorry before. Is that right?
I can't comment
I don't
on that.
like Katy Perry. She is not very nice. But you can imagine her
That sort of
doing it
thing.
like that and thinking, "Oh, I like that bit where you brought nice out of the general structure."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, the point
Brilliant.
is, Katie's ended the feud.
Made friends.
She sent an actual... Actually, let's go for literal. In one of the rare occasions where we can use that correctly.
Literally.
A literal olive branch. She literally sent an olive branch.
Lovely.
Olive branch in a box arrived at Taylor's. I don't know where Taylor. What does Taylor live in? Some sort
No, it
of
was at the stadium where she was performing.
biodome.
Yeah.
She lives in a pod.
I
Yeah.
imagine
Yeah.
she's in a biodome. Yeah. Perhaps.
Her house basically looks like the Eden Project.
Yeah, I imagine that. Her in a little skater skirt.
Look, I'm not one of these persons who goes on about the millennials and how everything's going wrong and we're going to hell in a handcart. You know
you
that.
are a
That
bit.
so means you are that.
You are a little bit.
But
No,
I
you're
must
about to
admit,
lay into them.
the words "broken Britain" were on my lips when I read in BBC News they had this story, and then in a paragraph on its own,
Oh, no.
they had on BBC News this sentence: "The olive branch is a symbol of peace." And I thought, well, if you need to tell people that, why don't we just close the whole shop down? Let's forget about it.
Quite dramatic.
Honestly, is it really? I thought to myself.
Frank Skinner.
On Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
Just during that, I just got a pencil and paper, and I've just drafted a little plan to prevent future rows between people like Taylor Swift and what's her name,
Katy Perry.
And
Showbiz.
it's basically what I've done is I've stolen the transfer window system that the footballers adopt,
Oh.
and I thought they could do that for backing dancers.
Good idea.
Oh,
Maybe
yeah.
go out of season, go across, and if somebody's
Yeah.
really disliked, they could go on a Bosman.
Yeah.
You know, they could get a Bosman system going.
Great idea.
I
Just
think
it'll stop this sort of beef.
Yeah.
the thing
happening.
is, though, if they, the theory is, of course, with football, is that if a player wants to leave, you might as well let them go because they
Just
become
stop playing.
disgruntled.
Yeah.
You don't want your backing singers like spelling out expletives behind you, like YMCA style.
Or you don't want them like Peter Odemwingie was turning up at the.
other clubs.
QPR?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Saying, yeah.
Sorry to mention football, Frank. By the
That's
way.
okay. Yeah,
Okay.
it's been a difficult week.
I know. I
But,
thought so. Really.
Yeah, it's. I'm sort of slightly disgusted with the backing singers, really.
Quite strong. Disgusted.
Yeah, I just think I was just about to go on tour, and my tour manager said, "Look, I'm really sorry about this, but I've had an offer from Morrissey, and I'm gonna go with him instead." And we've never spoke since.
Is that right?
Yeah.
When was that, Frank?
Oh, that was probably 2007.
Right. Okay.
But you want a bit of loyalty in life. Good night.
No, I only asked because I read an article about someone who was a tour manager who'd been fired from the Morrissey tour.
Oh,
I
I'm sure there's
imagine
been a
it's-
lot of them.
Yeah.
I imagine he's un peu difficile.
It's like
Yeah.
Jonathan Ross in the suit.
I think this bloke left me because I was a bit of a git who went on tour with Morrissey.
Frying pan fire.
Exactly. You never know, he might be a lovely bloke.
I think he's a laugh.
I don't think he
He
is.
says some
So,
funny things.
This feud
Yeah.
and, the Olive Branch specifically, unfortunately, it backfired though. Because, did you see this? I don't know if you follow Taylor Swift on Instagram or if you look at her Insta stories. Oh, Frank probably would have seen it.
I've never seen her Insta stories.
On her,
Certainly not even on a scanner.
on her Insta stories, she had the Olive Branch and the card that Katie had
is
sent
this where
her.
she zoomed in on just the bit that said sorry and not on
bit
the
that
rest?
said sorry. Well, it began, "Hey, old friend." Now, delete from contacts immediately if I got a card that started with that.
Yeah.
Okay, any enemies? But yeah, I
She
think
should have put hey frenemy. Or
Well, I
hey
think-
enemy.
If I had a card that said, "Hey, old friend," I'd assume it had come through a medium. So what's bad about that?
Well, Katie was upset, I believe, because it implied that she was taking full and sole responsibility for
Okay.
the disagreement and she felt it was unfair because she didn't show the whole card. I don't know what happened. Maybe the rest of the
At the
card
end
said
of
it's
the
all
day-
your fault.
At the end of the day, she sent the olive branch, so she's
Yeah.
got to eat a bit of humble pie. Who I think supported her on that too. What a shot that would have been for the kids. Anyway, I was thinking Uriah Heep. And Humble Pie was Pete Frampton's band, I think.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, this is going well. Thank goodness we have music that comes in like,
What about-
like the trapeze. We're in midair. Oh, God, there's the trapeze.
You're listening to Frank Skinner's podcast from Absolute Radio.
Oh, by the way, on the subject of Katy Perry and Taylor Swift.
Whatever happened to
Cat fights. They used to.
Oh, yes.
They used to. When in the same era as Quicksand, there would
Yeah.
often be a cat
Yeah.
fight in a film. What was the big one? Joan Collins and
Very well remembered, Frank.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. It was Joan Collins and Linda Evans who played
Yes.
Crystal and Alexis
Massive
in
cat
Dynasty.
fight there.
Sort of me and Daisy of their time.
Yeah.
really.
That's right, yeah.
You realise what
was thinking-
flimsy material women's tops were made out of? They always got their tops were always very badly ripped in the cat fights. I remember.
Yeah, they've got sturdier over the years, haven't they?
They have.
I was
Women's
just
wear.
so relieved for both those women that the hair stayed on.
Yeah, always,
Respect.
and the makeup.
Yeah.
And no
But the
ankle.
No, I mean the
blouses.
hair literally stayed on in both cases.
Oh, I see.
If you know what I
yes,
mean.
I get your drift.
Respect.
Katy Perry, I think, is a beautiful woman, but she's one of
Do you?
her style of beauty. Don't you think that?
Oh, I do. I think she's stunning. But would you go for Katie rather than Taylor?
I think, yes.
Okay.
But she is only because I find there is a sort of a lunar feel. You know, some people are very moon-faced, and I mean this
Okay.
in a
Right.
nice way. I always picture her with a rocket crashed into the right-hand temple. And if I dated...
that's a nice way, yeah.
If I dated Katie, I wouldn't bring it up early. Just
No.
like I always thought if I went out with Lisa Marie Presley, I wouldn't suggest the white jumpsuit for probably the first 2 weeks. But with Katie, it would...
Good to have a timetable for these things.
It'd be constantly the elephant in the room for me. But I just think, don't push. You could ruin
You
everything.
wouldn't wear your Elvis shirt on date one.
But how long would you have to wait with Katy Perry before you said, would you mind just very slowly rising up from behind the sofa? as I sing Morning is broken. I mean, you know what I mean? Is she going to think it's a bit of a laugh and join in?
No, I don't think so.
Well, maybe she wouldn't. On that subject, I
Yes.
just want to ask one last question on this, and this is me just not being finger on the pulse of the
Can't
whole
imagine
thing.
that. But
I know.
let's find out. Let's explore.
If my finger's on the
Buckle up,
pulse,
everyone.
it's because I'm anxious. Is Katy Perry...
I'm trying to get the money.
Well, let
My
me put
finger's
it-
on the pulse.
Let me put it this way. She's slightly in eclipse.
Oh, you think the descent is... Right.
I heard a rumour that the record deals aren't quite as straightforward as they were for KP.
Really?
Oh.
And I wondered if this is a way of getting on the back of the Taylor Swift bandwagon. Is that cynical of me?
Oh.
Well, I'm just loving your high-level intel here.
That is good intel.
What do you think? Because I think of her as an enormous star, Katy Perry, but I just well, not as much a star as a moon. But
Yeah.
I do wonder. I mean, back me
This
up.
is
What
a
do you think?
publicity stunt, is
Do you
what you're
think,
saying.
Sarah, you're young?
I
Got a
think-
young person in here. We use.
I think it might be a publicity stunt, but in a different way. I heard that she was going to open a chain of garden centres, and that the
lovely.
olive branches just sort of put in the
Oh,
idea of
she's a-
saplings and
Yeah.
seeds and planting in
That-
everyone's mind.
That's very
That's
good.
what I heard.
If I was her, I'd bring out my own pear cider. Because you know
Oh,
they
Perry?
call it. Yeah,
Oh,
you could
very
bring out
good.
a bottle of Katy Perry. Lovely.
Yeah.
That is a good business plan. You've
Any
launched so
road
many
up.
on here.
It's not my favourite showbiz story this week.
What is?
Right.
Well, I love a bit of Elton.
Oh, he's back.
And Elton has been more Elton this week than he's been for a long time. He's gone
Yeah.
super Elton.
Do you know what?
Yeah, Turbo Elt.
I think there might be a bit of Elton John that is trolling people. Because remember, about 2 months ago, people were making fun of him because he did an interview and he kept saying Ed Sheeran or Shiran or something.
Ed Sheeran.
But he's still
He
doing
went
it.
a bit
He did
Lion
it
King.
again.
He went a bit Lion King
He's
in his
definitely doing it
pronunciation.
on purpose.
Yeah.
He did it again.
I don't remember that. So he's stuck with that, has he?
He's stuck with it. It's sort of like it's entrenched behaviour, which doesn't sound like Elton
my
John.
dad and Somerset Matham.
Yes.
He just wouldn't accept that was...
Except to be fair, he didn't say that on a live link up at the Brits, your dad.
No.
You think, to my knowledge,
No, I don't think he did.
don't want to make assumptions.
I think you're right.
Sorry to mention the Brits.
He probably was just leaning on a lathe when he
We
said
should-
it.
we
I mean, I would
explain.
watch the Brits if that was on.
You know, there isn't enough lathes. Imagine if they had a lathe in one of the Eurovision Song Contest. There could be a lathe on
There
stage
could.
tonight. I wouldn't write that off.
Yeah.
That's what I love about it.
So, Frank, what did he say? I'm trying to recall exactly what he
Well,
said.
I'll tell you what, he said, one of the things he said, which is quite right, is people tend to have a heyday.
Yes.
What are you looking at me for?
Because you're speaking.
Where they're, they're red hot, they're flavour of the month.
Yeah.
And it lasts for more than a month if you're lucky.
Yeah.
And then your fame doesn't disappear, but you're turned down to a simmer,
Yes.
I would say. So you don't boil anymore, you simmer. And he said that happens. Your heyday can never be replaced. Once it's gone, you can't get your heyday again.
What he
I
actually
like to
said-
think that Gary Barlow was in the crowd going, excuse me. Excuse me, I think, hello? But generally, Gary Barlow is a notable exception. I'm told that his family crest now, which he has on everything, is snakes and ladders. But apart from that, he's right. Katy Perry might find... we might
Law
find
of
that
physics.
Katy Perry doing Room 101 wouldn't be out the question in, say, 3 years. Whereas they're now
Wow.
too big.
You're right. it was almost like a warning from...
Yeah, I don't know why you brought it up. It's like we're all going to die. Be okay, Alton, but don't, you know. We don't
Oh, no,
wanna
come
hear
on, he
about
didn't
it.
just say that.
He said you have a hair day and you have a rest, and then the hair day can never be replaced. Like, he's very anti-resting, which I'm surprised by, because he's always struck me as a power napper, I think,
Also,
Elton John.
you wear a lot of leisure wear for someone who doesn't like resting.
He's wearing
Yeah.
yoga pants and a suit jacket. He seems like...
Tracksuit.
Well,
every day.
the white shell suit thing. Are you ready for love?
I mean, if you were in the same building as Elton John and he was in a different room, I reckon 9 times out of 10 you'd guess he's having a lie down. Like, he's just having a nap.
Okay, what came first, the leisure wear or the rest?
He loves a rest.
But someone wearing a white shell suit is not ready for love, surely. Make a bit more effort than that for love. You're not ready for love, are you? I thought you'd have got changed out of that. What do you mean? It's all right. Yeah. He's a big fan of all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I think he's trying to be... He is a sort of a wise figure in showbiz circles. Celebrities go to him to ask about celebrity. People are new to it.
Right.
Because he's been famous for a long time.
He's got a wise owl vibe.
Yeah, he's got a... people go to him and they seek wisdom.
And a little known fact, his head can revolve at 360 degrees. He can do the full spin.
Less known fact.
That makes me nervous.
It's been stuck on 180 for the last 5 years and no one's noticed. He just put a pair of glasses on it.
Frank Skinner.
On Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Alan Cochrane. You can text the show on 8 12 15, follow the show on Twitter at Frank on the Radio, and email the show via the Absolute Radio website.
Talking about Elton John,
John?
and he said some other very strange things about Ed Sheeran. I mean, when I say
Sheeran.
strange, Ed Sheeran, I mean, quite
Sheeran.
he said... And I'm not sure whether it would be even possible to say this had been misinterpreted, because
Go
it
on.
feels his exact words
Well, it was
were.
on video, wasn't it?
He said of The Shape of You, and one of his other songs. He said, "Why? How many?" He was referring to them still being in the charts in America. Why? How many times do you want to listen to these things?
Yeah.
I appreciate I've imposed tone on that.
I think
statement.
that has there been a feud, and the Shape of You was about Elton. Is it like the bad? Is it the bad blood
Maybe.
thing?
No, because he says, "I'm in love with The Shape of You."
Oh well, there you go. He's being nice about it. Elton should take that as a compliment. When I went to Watford the other week,
I thought you were going to say
What
Wok
the-
again.
no,
You went to
I'm
Watford.
never saying
I was
Watford.
thinking,
It's going to have
I was thinking, don't
an episode.
start.
On the main stand there at Watford, it says it's got "I will tell everyone this is our song." It's got like a big long lyric from our song, your song,
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
song, Our Price.
If I was a
It's Our
sculptor.
Price. Is that what it's-
Your song's "If I Was a Sculptor,"
yeah,
isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Then again,
No.
as they say. Why bring it up? Big long lyric across the stand there. I kind of
Really?
like that. Yeah, he did say. Is he? You think the Gingers would stick together a bit more,
Is that
wouldn't you?
well, I think he loves
He is
him.
he not only that, Elton John chose to be ginger.
That's...
Did he?
Well, he's ginger now, isn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, I see your point.
I
And he
don't
was
think.
more-
What colour was his milk
Was he
hair, as
more
I like to call it?
Was he more mousy?
You know,
I
he
think
had
it was-
milk hair, and then his real hair grew.
There's a lot of inverted
I'd
commas.
say
in here.
it was a bit of a
It was
what I
dark
call
brown.
a Hampton Court red.
Oh,
Right.
I don't
Yes.
think it was ginger. I think he's
Well, that's not
opted for
ginger, sort of Auburn.
Yeah.
So I just think it was dark before. So he's sort of joined the gingers, and then he's sort of having a dig at
Ed Sheeran.
Ed Sheeran.
Oh, he's not just had a dig at him musically, though. He also said, one thing I said to him when he went, I said, don't put on weight, because he's prone to put on weight like I am. And he came back heavy.
Heavy.
He said, and he came back heavy.
Ed Sheeran's prone to put on weight.
Heavy
Like-
something. Imagine if Frank said that about me. I would
Oh.
never... Well, I'm not going to say what
So
I do.
is this true what Elton said? He said it was easier in my day. When I started, there were no paparazzi. Is that true?
Yeah. I think it must be easier.
I saw some black and white paparazzi pictures of like Frank Sinatra in the 40s.
Right. Yeah.
Elton John sounds like Elton John got sketched leaving the nightclub. Courtroom artists there in the pastels. Here he is. Quick, there he goes. Ah, get off, you lot.
He does suggest that he was a bit bad. He sort of implies that he's been a bit of a git in his time at various points.
Maybe this is it. He is a bit of a git.
I respect him for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you might.
I think if you think of him in those terms, some of his comments feel more palatable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you see?
He talked about... There's another thing which stuck in my mind. He said those years I had in a van going up the M1.
I don't like the sound of that.
No mention of a return journey either.
He was a delivery driver.
I don't like men talking about vans.
No, and I think he was on about, that he was like a proper band. He wasn't created,
right,
which I'm sure is true. I think of him... I think if I think of Elton John being transported, I think sedan chair nowadays. I absolutely, even in a shell suit. Elton just slightly hidden as he sits, leans back in a sedan chair. He must have a sedan chair.
Yeah.
Any evidence of Elton John travelling in a sedan chair? 8:12:15.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Can I talk about my holiday now?
Yes. Oh, we're off on the road to Morocco. We if Brian Ferry had done
I
that.
wish we'd had that soundtrack.
Yeah.
I won't say my hollybobs. Oh, I hate people that say that.
yeah.
I've never heard that word before.
Have you not?
Never heard hollybobs?
No.
Don't
Going on your
believe
hollybobs?
Honestly, I haven't.
You must be mixing with the right people.
Yeah.
I like to think so. Me.
Yeah. You could present the right stuff. You're so right. So I need to tell you, I had a sort of strange start to it, but I rather liked it.
What about if anyone hosted it, but everything on it was very right wing, and that's why it was called the right
Just make
stuff.
it, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Wouldn't need that much of a policy change. No. Sorry, carry on.
So I met what I think was the Marrakesh version of Bit of a Git.
Oh, okay.
And it's reassuring to know that's an international phenomenon.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Okay, because the gentleman I met, it was just a very simple, small exchange.
So where were we? Because I don't know.
We're
I've
in
never been to
Marrakesh.
Morocco. Oh, would you
Yeah.
like to travel on the Marrakesh Express?
Oh, I wish we'd had you with you.
Yeah,
We'd had you with us for the
I realised they're
playlist.
Morocco-based songs.
Oh, I didn't know
A
that.
Morocco mole, of course. Secret Squirrel's right-hand, mole.
I didn't know he had any Moroccan connections.
Oh,
Secret
yeah.
Squirrel.
Yeah, his assistant wears a fez, in fact.
He's got an assistant. He's got a PA.
Morocco mole.
I'm not sure I understand this bit of this chat, but we can
Okay.
just skate past it.
Well,
It's
explain.
fine.
So we're in
Don't need
Marrakesh.
to.
So we're in Marrakesh. So we're in a lovely hotel, and it's one of those hotels where they have golf buggies taking you to your room, and I love a golf buggy.
To your room?
Yeah, to your villa.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
Oh, darn. Okay.
Ooh. Oh, no.
Nice.
And we got on the golf buggy, and I felt a bit Trumpelstiltskin on the golf buggy.
Yeah.
Flatulent.
No. That's how I picture him.
Right,
He's in a
right.
white trouser on the golf course. But I liked the man who took my baggage for me. Because what he did, he disobeyed the social contract, and I had respect for that. Because, he said, and I'm going to do a French accent, because they speak French there, if everyone's OK with that.
This is a French accent. Just want to make absolutely sure everything's all right. OK, and we're off. This is a non-derogatory French accent.
You are about to hear.
Yes.
I like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we should do
Warning,
that.
the following anecdote contains a French accent which some mistakenly may feel derogatory. It is not.
Can I just carry that round with me as an
Yeah.
app?
Off you go.
So he said he had loaded my bags onto the golf buggy, and he said, "Oh, you're from?" It's French.
Yeah.
He said, "You're from England," and I was a bit disappointed. I always hope they'll think I'm Italian or something. So I said, yes, from England. And he said, oh, that's great. Where from in England? I said, London. He went, oh, no, London. And that was it. He didn't really speak to me again. And I thought, there was something obviously happened to him there. I don't know what. He didn't like it. But I respected him because people can be quite obsequious and they want to... And I mean, I thought, no, good on him. I didn't tip him, obviously, at the end.
But usually that's the only place people abroad
Well, that's what struck me as odd about it, and I quite liked
obviously
it.
Maybe you'd had an experience there.
Oh, yeah.
Just imagine if you'd said Bishop Stortford and he carried on interrogating
I
you.
dated him once.
I've been trying to remember that for 36 hours. Merci, you would have said. I don't Google. And if I know, only if I don't, sans knowledge. Thank you, Pierre. You may go now. Merci, madame. Tell me, is there a croque, mademoiselle? Anyway, that was him. That was Ralph. Was he called Ralph?
Pierre.
I can't remember his name. I am going to tell you about the row I had in the restaurant. Would you like to hear about that, boys and girls?
Excellent teaser.
Hold that thought.
Skinner, Dean, and Cochrane. Together, The Frank Skinner Show.
Absolute Radio.
Producer's got her drinking liquid out of a pint glass. I just noticed her take a swig, and I was momentarily alarmed.
Anything other than beer out of a pint glass always looks a bit strange, don't you think?
That's quite studenty. I quite like it.
Yeah, when they've just got one glass.
Yeah, they've got one
That's
glass.
it.
A fondue set and a pint glass.
Oh, the fondue.
And a what? Sorry,
do you
Al.
think quiche is a bit 80s?
Oh, a bit.
We've actually had an update on fondue. Just arrived. Hi, I recently moved back to the UK after living in Switzerland for 12 years.
Frank!
I can confirm that Frank is not making it up about the steamboat. The dish is still very popular in Switzerland, where they call it fondue chinoise. It involves a boiling pot of stock in the middle of the table, into which you dunk and cook thin slices of meat. The raw chicken element is an invitation to salmonella, but I can confirm the dish is a real thing and very tasty.
An invitation to salmonella is something you don't get every day. Is that gold embossed?
The Deb's coming out party.
Good info.
Salmonella welcomes you to...
Didn't you tease that you were in a restaurant or something?
Yes.
Is that what you said?
But I hasten to add there was none of that going on.
Oh, okay.
No salmonella, I mean.
All right.
Well, but there was quite a bit of beef,
Right.
if you're getting me.
I'm with you.
Bourguignon?
Lovely. So I'm with my friends, and we go into this restaurant, and it's a very posh restaurant. I mean, when I say posh, they pull out a special chair for the ladies present for our handbags.
Wow.
Oh, I like that.
I've never seen the like.
A
Yeah.
handbag.
The handbag's got their own chair. Excuse
Like
me,
that.
madame. Again, a French accent.
And was it a normal chair? Yes.
Frank, do you need to give the warning? I am going to do more French accents here.
Okay. The following anecdote includes a non-derogatory French accent, which may be mistaken as a derogatory French accent. It is not. Okay.
Very clear.
So they pulled out these stools, lovely suede stools.
Wide for a handbag.
And when I went to put my...
Thank you.
Someone had to do it.
I was waiting for you because it's your thing on here.
I
Is
know.
it?
Yeah.
Who would have thought it?
Yeah.
I had it in my clasp.
They pull out the chair and you place it. They go, madame, please. It's absolutely
There
terrible.
it goes.
And it's the sort of restaurant, again, there are lots of fountains. There's lovely fountains, mosaic fountains. May I take your madame? May I take your pashmina? No, because it's not 1992, but thank you.
Quiche.
No quiche. Pigeon pie, though.
That pigeon pie.
Might have to give a warning about that. Sorry.
Pigeon pie?
Yeah, pigeon pie. Pastilla they serve over there.
Okay.
Okay. Their gaff, their rules.
Yeah.
So, also, all was going well until a family came in. So Jonathan Ross, who I was dining with, we had a feeling about this man. We didn't like the look of the head of the family. He just looked a bit cigar smoker of the year Moroccan edition. He sat down, he had his wife with him and a kid. First thing he does is light up a cigarette.
Oh.
Can you still do that in Morocco?
Well, I didn't know. He was the first person I saw doing it. But I thought, well, OK. You know, again, their gaff, their rules.
Yeah.
Then he starts talking very loudly on the phone. He starts ringing, c'est pas difficile, c'est nada, screaming at someone. I thought, I don't like this.
Yeah.
Then the child gets out an iPad and starts playing a game, and it's the loudest, screechiest noise I've ever heard in my entire life. It was it was unbearable.
Okay.
So we dealt with it in what I thought was the best way, which was we made a lot of passive-aggressive remarks.
Right.
Yeah.
I said, oh, God.
Doesn't work with those people, does it?
No.
Well, Jonathan said...
We're a bit immune to that.
Jonathan Ross said, unbelievable, very loudly.
Okay.
I mean, a sensitivity chip was missing.
That's when you need a telescopic fondue fork.
Yes.
So Jonathan decided to take matters into his own hands.
Hooray.
He decided to say something. He was polite. He leant across. He said, excuse me, you know, this is disturbing our meal a bit. I wonder if you would mind turning this down. That specifically the iPad is very loud, the game your child is playing. And the woman said, this is not loud. I don't know what sort of restaurants you are used to. Looked at each other as if to say, what, where people don't smoke, take phone calls and play loud Game Boys? It was extraordinary. So we were sort of stunned into silence by this.
But they weren't.
But not for long. So we left it again. Then Jonathan went back. He said, I'm really sorry. This is very loud and it is quite rude. And the gentleman turned around to Jonathan and said, you are rude, talking to us in English and not French.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
And it all kicked off.
Oh, yeah.
Those waiters were hovering around. Other diners were getting very nervous about it. I mean, the atmosphere was...
Does Jonathan know any good swearing in French? Is that what
Was
happened?
it a big row then, a big verbal row?
Well, I'll tell you what I did. I then laughed. Me and one of my friends, we decided to laugh, but with a slightly French accent in a contemptuous way. We went, ha, ha, ha.
Yeah. That would have helped a lot, I would have thought.
Well, we
Sure.
did
Can't
decide
think so.
to leave eventually because things got... I mean, we'd sort of finished our meal.
Yeah.
And eventually we got up and Jonathan said, I think we should go. So we went to leave. And as we walked out, I heard the man say, oh, dear, they are leaving. So sad.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So I said, I don't know why I said this. I thought, I tried to come up with a zinger and my mind went blank. So I went, thank you very much, sir.
What was that? I like it.
What was that?
It's quite polite, actually.
And then as we walked through the restaurant, and we were feeling we'd done the dignified thing leaving, it was only when we got to the end and we got to the exit that we heard the noise coming from the speakers of the restaurant, and it was actually Moroccan music that was being piped through, and it wasn't the child's iPad making that noise.
Oh, dear.
So we thought, should we go back and apologise?
Oh, no, don't do that.
Jonathan said, no, they were horrible anyway.
That's a good point.
Oh,
So it's fine.
That's quite bad. Oh, so it wasn't loud. She was right, the old...
The woman who said, I don't know what sort of restaurants you go to was right.
Well, she doesn't know that. She'd been a bit more respectful.
No, this is true. But, you know, I just think
Wow.
immerse
Made me feel-
yourself in local culture before making judgments
It's made
about
me
the
feel
sounds.
a bit tense, that.
Oh, I'm still
the poison's still in my system. That. Whoa, I might have to relax during this bit.
Okay.
Frank Skinner.
On Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
So I didn't have a great experience of this child in the restaurant. Although I say that, it turns out they were completely
Innocent.
innocenti.
No one is innocent. That was the title of the Ronnie Biggs, Sex Pistols feat Ronnie Biggs.
All right. Yeah. I thought you were just quoting from...
I was quoting from Ronnie
I
Biggs.
thought you were quoting from one of the books that you quote from a lot.
No.
There's been quite a lot of restaurant-related brouhahaas in the news. in the old in the news. There was
Love a brouhaha.
There was a TripAdvisor review debacle in Manchester this week. Some woman and the rest of her party went to a restaurant, ordered a £120 bottle of wine, which I didn't know you could get that in Manchester.
Can I ask, as someone who hasn't drunk for some 30 years, is that a lot of money for a...
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was the going rate.
I just don't. I have no idea what a bottle of wine costs.
Oh, really? Well, it could be £10. It could be 100.
Yeah, I think.
No, is that what Frank thinks?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think if you're eating out, you'd expect it to be
20.
more like 10 to 20. I don't know. I don't. But 120 is a lot.
Wow.
But then they wanted to put lemonade in it, and
I mean, come
and the
on.
restaurant said, "Oh, we've only got cloudy lemonade," which is a weird choice for them to only have cloudy lemonade.
Is cloudy lemonade fizzy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, then you'd still get your spritzer, wouldn't
Exactly.
Well, it's not a spritzer. Red wine and lemonade
That's what they wanted.
It's not anything.
They wanted a version of a spritzer.
What kind
but
of
with
it? I
red.
suppose a sangria vibe. Anyway.
Yeah.
What they wanted was a wine shandy.
Yes. Yeah.
A wine top.
A wine top, yeah. I'll have a wine top, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what happened was
I miss the drinks of yesteryear. Do people still ask for a lager top?
I think they
Yeah.
do, especially when the sun's out.
What about snake bite?
Does that
about it?
still
Remember
happen?
snake bite? Frank?
Yeah, I'll say.
Were you a
That was-
fan back in the
Was
day?
that lager and cider?
I believe so. Yeah.
I
Sorry,
still
drinks
happens.
I
correspondent.
had a brief relationship with a woman who used to drink Tia Maria and cider. Yeah.
When you say relationship, was it more than one night?
No.
Okay.
Okay. Well, there was some morning, a little bit of morning thrown in there.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
Rum and pep. Do people still have that?
Don't know
Love
about
that
rum
double
and
act.
pep.
Rum and pep, rum and black. Oh, man. Barley wine?
We're just going to list drinks.
Just out there. I'd like to know. Would
It's
you still
memory
go?
lane for you.
Would you go and have a pint of mild, drink it halfway down, and top it up with a barley wine? Is that something you'd do?
I no,
Okay.
not me. I mean, I never have done that you've just
But you
described.
still
don't have
see
to ask me that question.
But you
surely.
still see barley wine. Oh God! You still see barley wine in pubs, do you?
No. Have you? Let's ask the drinks correspondent. Sarah.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it.
barley wine.
Barley wine's gone. How do people get very, very, very drunk quickly nowadays? Don't ask that.
8, 12, 15.
No, I don't want to know that. It'd be awful. Imagine the terrible people that'll reply.
I'm still telling this wine story about this brouhaha.
Yeah, someone messaged
in
about it.
Manchester. Yeah, so they ordered, various drinks. This group, £120 bottle of red wine, and then one of their group, it says in their TripAdvisor complaint review, which is entitled "No Customer Skills," all capitals. We
No need to
arrived.
shout.
Our friend likes lemonade with his wine. Weirdo. And this restaurant only stocks bottles of cloudy lemonade. We asked could they go and get some, or could we? The shop was 2 minutes away. There was no movement on this at all. So for the sake of a £1 bottle of lemonade and putting yourself out, the restaurant let us walk away. So she put up a complainy TripAdvisor thing. Then the restaurant, Mr. Usher, he comes back and says...
Usher got involved.
No,
Yeah.
no.
He's the owner of the restaurant, I think. We often nip out for people's requests. It's part of great hospitality. We just don't do it if you're a rude person.
We don't do it if you're
that
rude.
last bit was some asterisks involved. 99% of our guests are lovely, and over the years lots of them have become friends. I'm amazed at the amount of people that insinuate paying customers are entitled to say and act as they wish in a restaurant. I love this guy. love him.
Wow.
In fact, I'm going to go and
Wow.
dine at his restaurant because he's got this attitude.
Okay.
One of the problems with the ability to complain about everything is that people do it and they might be fools. What if the people that are writing reviews of places saying they're terrible are fools?
Well,
What
that
if?
Doesn't seem very likely.
Well, all right. What about the two people that were
he's not
absolutely
letting it go.
smashed? What about the two people that were absolutely smashed at my tour show in Barnsley? The rest of the crowd turned on them. They got chucked out and then went home and complained that I had taken the audience's side against them.
Oh.
Like 200
Wow.
strangers turned on them and they're like, no, Alan didn't even find out if we were obnoxious or not.
So this story's not really about the restaurant in Manchester at all. Is
No,
it?
it is. It is.
We're talking about this over here, but we're talking about something over there. Is what we're on about.
What I'm
we're on
saying
about
is-
a wild night in Barnsley.
What I'm saying is sometimes very
Well,
great
mate,
fools have got a voice now.
You're quite right. I was in a.
There's three of them here for a start.
Yeah.
I was in a French restaurant once in Greenwich, and I ordered. I thought I've never
to hear that.
tried snails. Sorry.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I've never tried snails. I'm in a French restaurant. I think it's the first time I've ever been in a French
I
restaurant.
really hope the punchline is that they took ages to arrive.
Oh, if only it were. But no, the punchline is I said, and can I have chips with them, please?
Oh.
And then I could hear a bit of a kerfuffle off stage,
Backstage.
as it were.
In the wings, as my
And then the
parents would have
chef,
said.
a man in a chef's hat, brought out the snails and the chips, banged them down on my table, and said, "L'escargot anglaise,"
Oh,
and then went back to the kitchen.
Oh.
Wow,
you monster.
Yeah. These chefs,
Yeah.
they're all on the drugs.
he was probably furious that you were drinking red wine with lemonade in it.
Next time I saw him, he was in black Crocs and check trousers, standing next to a bin smoking.
Having a cigarette, I was going to say, yeah.
See, that's what brings down their image as the great chef. They're always outside smoking by the bins in
True.
black Crocs.
Lovely Harlequin
All
trousers, though.
Oh,
Love a Harlequin cake?
so look, Harlequin cake, love. Please, we've got to get off here. It's
Okay.
all the
songs
songs.
today.
It's been overindulgent, if you ask me. Where have you been, baby? If the good Lord spares us and the creeks don't rise, we'll be back again this time next week. Now we're going to get out.
You're listening to the Frank Skinner podcast from Absolute Radio. Want your Frank fix a little sooner? Listen live every Saturday from 8 a.m. on Absolute Radio. Across the UK on digital radio, mobile apps, and in London and the South East on 105.8 FM.
Absolute Radio.